I fell in love with the lamppost, and then things got weird. The first time I saw it, I was 3 days sober and staring at the ceiling. Clara had been gone 6 months, swallowed by the careless metal of a distracted driver, and my life had become a slow, agonizing bleed. The ceiling fan whirred, a metronome counting down to nothing. I needed air, anything to cut through the suffocating grief that clung to me like a second skin. I stumbled out of bed, walked to the window, and pushed it open. The cool night air hit my face, a welcome shock. That's when I saw it, the gas lamppost at the end of my street, right where the road met the woods. It was old, a relic from a time Havenwood had mostly forgotten, standing incongruously among the modern sodium streetlights. The gas mantle glowed with a soft, almost inviting light. I remember thinking it looked lonely, standing there on the edge of the darkness. The next few nights, I found myself drawn to it. I'd walk down the street, sometimes with a sketch pad, sometimes just to stand beneath its light. I'd lost my job, couldn't bring myself to paint. My canvases were all blank, white voids mocking my creative paralysis. But the lamppost, it was something to look at, something constant in a world that had become terrifyingly unpredictable. Dr. Sharma, my therapist, wasn't thrilled. "Elias," she said, her voice gentle but firm, "you need to reconnect with people. Focusing on inanimate objects isn't healthy. It's avoidance." I knew she was right, but people were exhausting. Their platitudes, their well-meaning but clumsy attempts to fill the Clara-shaped hole in my life, were more painful than silence. The lamppost didn't offer solutions or sympathy. It just existed. One night, I was sketching it when I heard it. A low hum, almost imperceptible. I looked around, thinking it was a car, but the street was deserted. The hum seemed to be coming from the lamppost itself. I dismissed it as the wind whistling through the old metal. Then the light flickered. Just a brief, almost subliminal dip in intensity. But I saw it. It felt deliberate. "Okay," I muttered to myself, "maybe I'm losing it." The dreams started around the same time. Vague, unsettling images, shadowy figures moving in the woods, whispers in the darkness, and always the lamppost, looming like a silent sentinel. Old Man Hemlock, my neighbor across the street, noticed my nightly vigils. He was a wizened, eccentric character, a Havenwood fixture. He always looked like he was about to share a secret, his eyes glinting with a strange knowing. One evening, as I was heading towards the lamppost, he stopped me. "That old thing's seen a lot," he said, his voice raspy. "Havenwood keeps its secrets close, son. Best not to go digging where you ain't wanted." "What do you mean?" I asked. He just shook his head. "Some things are best left buried. Let the past be, Elias. Let it be." His words rattled me. I dismissed them as the ramblings of an old man, but they planted a seed of unease in my mind. I started researching Havenwood's history. The town had a darker past than its quaint, postcard, perfect facade suggested. There were whispers of unexplained disappearances, dating back to the town's founding. Stories of strange rituals performed in the surrounding woods. And, increasingly, the lamppost's location seemed to be a recurring theme in these accounts. The humming grew louder. The flickering became more frequent. I started talking to the lamppost, pouring out my grief, my loneliness, my growing fear. I know it sounds insane, but it felt like it was listening, like it understood. One night, a group of teenagers, drunk and bored, decided to vandalize the lamppost. They kicked it, spray-painted graffiti on its base. I yelled at them to stop, but they just laughed and taunted me. The next day, one of them was missing, gone without a trace. The others claimed he'd just wandered off, but there was a palpable fear in their eyes. Detective Mallory arrived. She was a sharp, no-nonsense woman, clearly weary of small-town mysteries. She interviewed me, her gaze skeptical. "Mr. Thorne," she said, "these kids are known troublemakers. Runaways, drug use, there are plenty of explanations for his disappearance. But the lamppost," I insisted. "They vandalized it. Something happened there." She just sighed. "Mr. Thorne, I understand you're going through a difficult time, but I need facts, not superstitions." But she did investigate. and she found things. Old newspaper articles about disappearances, local legends about the woods, and the recurring presence of the lampost's location. She started to look at me differently, her skepticism tempered by a growing unease. The dreams intensified. I saw the faces of the missing, their eyes filled with terror. I saw the rituals, shadowy figures chanting in the darkness, the lamppost bathed in an unholy light. The lamppost, it was communicating with me. Not in words, but in images, in feelings. It was showing me its history, the darkness it had witnessed, the evil it had become a conduit for. I went back to Mr. Hemlock. He looked at me with a grim satisfaction. "I told you," he said. "Some things are best left buried." "What is it?" I asked, my voice trembling. "What's connected to that lamppost?" He hesitated, then spoke in a hushed tone. "It's a focal point," he said. "A place where the veil is thin, where the old things can reach through. Havenwood, it was built on a place of power, a place where sacrifices were made." Sacrifices? To appease the old gods, he said, to keep the darkness at bay. But the rituals, they were twisted, corrupted, and the lamppost, it became a marker, a beacon. He told me stories of the early settlers, of the pact they made with something in the woods, of the price they had to pay. He spoke of rituals performed beneath the lamppost, of the disappearances that followed, of the lingering evil that permeated Havenwood. "Clara," I said, the name a choked whisper. "Her accident, was it?" He looked away. "Havenwood takes what it wants, Elias. Sometimes, accidents happen." The realization hit me like a physical blow. The lamppost wasn't just a lonely object. It was a nexus of darkness, a gateway to something malevolent, and it was connected to Clara's death. I had to stop it. I decided to perform a ritual of my own. A counter-ritual to sever the connection, to banish the evil. I found an old grimoire in the Havenwood library, a forbidden book filled with arcane symbols and forgotten incantations. I prepared everything carefully. I gathered herbs, lit candles, drew symbols on the ground. I stood beneath the lamppost, the grimoire open in my hands, and began to chant. The air crackled with energy. The lamppost flared, casting grotesque shadows. The ground trembled. I felt a surge of power, both terrifying and exhilarating. But the ritual went wrong. I didn't understand the words, the symbols. I was playing with forces I couldn't control. The darkness overwhelmed me. I saw visions of the past, the rituals performed beneath the lamppost, the sacrifices, the faces of the missing, Clara's face. A shadowy figure emerged from the darkness, its eyes burning with an unholy light. It was the embodiment of Havenwood's evil, the thing that had been lurking beneath the surface for centuries. It reached out to me, its touch cold and corrupting. I felt my mind fracturing, my sanity slipping away. Detective Mallory arrived, drawn by the strange energy emanating from the lamppost. She found me in a trance-like state, chanting in a language she didn't understand, the lamppost glowing with an unnatural light. "Elias," she shouted, trying to break through my haze. I turned to her, but it wasn't me. It was something else, something ancient and malevolent, using my body as a vessel. I lunged at her, driven by a force I couldn't control. She fought back, but I was too strong. The darkness had consumed me. I don't remember what happened next. I woke up in a hospital bed, my mind a shattered landscape of fragmented memories and terrifying visions. Dr. Sharma was there, her face etched with concern. "Elias," she said, "you're safe now. You're getting help." But I wasn't safe. The darkness was still there, lurking in the corners of my mind, whispering about the lamppost. Detective Mallory visited me. She told me they had removed the lamppost. They were investigating the disappearances, the rituals, the history of Havenwood. "It's over, Elias," she said. "We're going to fix this." But I knew it wasn't over. The evil was still there, dormant but not defeated. It would find another way, another focal point. They say I'm delusional. They say I'm suffering from severe trauma, that my mind has created a fantasy to cope with my grief. Maybe they're right. But sometimes, in the dead of night, I can still hear the humming, and I know, with a chilling certainty, that the lamppost is still out there, waiting for me, waiting for Havenwood, waiting for the darkness to rise again.